Hello, hello. This is Luke Stokes, Managing Director for the FIO Protocol, and joined by Katie Z. Today is Tuesday, March 30th, and we're here with our weekly update for the FIO Protocol. Lots of cool, amazing stuff going on this week. We're just going to start off by two major announcements in the whole cryptocurrency space that I'm seeing all over the news. The big news is PayPal and Visa are now allowing crypto settlements. So this is kind of a big deal. I just want to start out with this because it directly relates to the FIO protocol and what we're doing to try to make crypto easier to actually use as currency, right? So if you haven't heard the news, PayPal has now enabled, as they announced, months ago, where you could actually buy crypto within the app. You can now actually use it as a currency in the checkout experience, which I haven't been able to try out yet. I don't know if you've tried it out yet. I just updated my app to see if it's available. But that's really exciting news. People that have been in this space for a long time have always talked about what would it be like if PayPal enabled you to use cryptocurrency. Well, that just got announced today. So that's super exciting. And then right on the heels of yesterday's announcement, where Visa said that you can now start settling with the USDC stablecoin, which is again a cryptocurrency on the Ethereum chain. And it's another big example of just the validation within this industry. So those are huge, two big announcements. I'm curious what your thoughts are on that, Katie.
No, to your point, I mean, these are things that we've been talking about for years. Everyone that's been deep into the industry and has ridden the wave, the bull and the bear and all of that, that's what we talk about. We've been envisioning this. It's almost been like we've been manifesting it. And here we are, right? So it's no surprise to probably yourself or myself. It's just really cool when that news finally does become a reality and is officiated. So I'm excited about that. And, there's a lot, these are just two examples too. There's a whole lot more that is hard to even just keep up on. So I'm excited.
I mean, for me, I use it as a reminder again to think about, okay, this is super exciting. This is super great. I mean, 8 years plus I've been in Bitcoin waiting for stuff like this to validate the industry, to let people know that this is legit, this is real. But it also was a reminder that let's not forget why cryptocurrency matters. Not your keys, not your coins. And the idea that if you use these third party, and nothing against Visa, nothing against PayPal, but if you use these third party custodial providers to hold your cryptocurrency, please remember that it's not your cryptocurrency. You essentially gave it to them and you're hoping someday they'll give it back to you. That's kind of how this works. If you don't own the private key, then you don't control the cryptocurrency. And that's a big part of what we're trying to do with the FIO protocol, is to provide a user experience that's just as joyful and easy to use and fun as PayPal or your credit card, without sacrificing those core components of being able to control your own store of value, control your own private key. And we were talking about this earlier today, this idea that is a core fundamental concept of the FIO protocol and why it's so valuable, but we probably don't talk about it enough. And it's the idea that in the real world, when you pay for something, it's initiated by a payment request. There's an invoice, there's somebody requesting money from you. You don't just randomly send money to people, and you don't just have random money show up in your bank account. There's always an initiation of a request. And this is why I think FIO protocol is so important, is we're one of the only protocols that provides for that, and it works across every single blockchain, every single token. You can do a decentralized, encrypted, peer-to-peer encrypted payment request to say, hey, this is the exact token, this is the exact chain, because like USDT, for example, exists on multiple chains. It can be very confusing. This is the chain, the token, and the exact amount. And then you can even put in a memo in that request. And so these are the things that it's exciting to see the validation of crypto used as currency. And at the same time, a validation that the FIO protocol is important and what we're doing matters. So I'm excited about that. I think that was really cool. We have a couple of things to touch on. We're going to get through these pretty quick and keep the video short today. The other two things are, as you probably know, we talked about before, that the FIO protocol is run as a decentralized autonomous consortia. That means the blockchain runs completely independent on its own by the token holder elected validators, the block producers. And then we also have a Cayman nonprofit foundation, which I'm the managing director for, the Foundation for Inter-Wallet Operability. And that's run, and there is like a normal organization, we have a board of directors, and we're running that in such a way that the token holders get to have somewhat of a say in who gets to be on that board. They basically get to do a straw poll using their tokens to vote for candidates for the board. And then the existing board gets to choose from those elected or those voted on candidates to decide who the board's going to be. So our very first election is actually coming up in about 2 weeks now. April 15th is the very first election. And this is a blog post that we'll be putting out there very soon that highlights the process. How can you vote for board members, and how can you, if you're a FIO member and you've got an integrated protocol, integration into your product or service, you might want to consider being a candidate as well. And there's still time to submit your candidacy. We outline the responsibilities and the process here. So I'm very excited about that. This is, again, just kind of the first of many. According to our foundation documents, this is going to be happening multiple times a year. I think it's 3 times a year. And the first one, again, is in April. So check this out. If you've got tokens, you get to help participate in even not just voting for block producers, but also voting for how the Cayman Nonprofit Foundation is run and by whom. So any other thoughts you want to add to that?
I do. Yeah, the only thing I want to point out, so while this is in draft and the first election is in a couple of weeks, this content has been living in the FIO knowledge base before I even came on board with you guys. So this content has been out there for a long time. This draft that you're seeing that will be published on Medium and pushed out, it is literally a copy and paste of that. So I just want everyone to be aware that that the foundation and the protocol is making sure that there's full transparency and integrity at every step.
Awesome. And then last, but certainly not least, we did a longer video last week talking all about the 1-year anniversary, which we just passed for the FIO protocol, which was March 23rd, I believe. Is that right? And so
right.
We now have our contest going, $10,000 FIO video competition giveaway. And so we have talked about this before. This is on the blog post now live. And as of yesterday, I believe, we are now accepting submissions. So why don't you tell us all about it, Katie?
So this competition is for everybody. So if you are a video creator or you're not, and you're just a user and an enthusiast and you happen to have a cell phone or a smartphone, everybody can participate in this, and it is all fair game for everybody. So everyone who does participate in creating a video to talk about FIO, and there are some examples of the types of content suggestions, like how to use FIO and the different partners and exchanges and wallets, a review of what FIO protocol is. Let us know how you think about it. How do you communicate about FIO and what FIO is and the value that it provides into this industry? That's what this is all about. It really giving you guys as much agency and autonomy to get creative with this. Everybody who does participate will receive, I believe it's 100 FIO tokens, as long as the video meets the terms and conditions to be qualified. So you do have that. If you want to get a little bit fancier and play around or do like a really great review, it doesn't have to be a fancy video. I'm really looking at the content of it, right? And also making sure that that content is getting out there, that you're sharing it onto YouTube, that you're driving people to learn about FIO. That's really how these are going to be determined in terms of the prizing. And also, if you happen to speak multiple languages natively, I want to stress that, like, if you're fully fluent in multiple languages, don't try speaking a language that you're not very fluent in, because we will have them audited, I guess is the right word, to make sure that the content is right. But that just increases your chances for more chances at placing in the top 10 as well. So
awesome. I'm super excited about this. I'm looking forward to the submission. So please submit your submissions. I want to see them. I'm excited about them. I think the community is going to get very fired up about them. Tell us all about why FIO is interesting to you. And again, I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Katie, for setting this up. And as always, thank you all for watching. Super appreciate you. And until next time, we'll talk to you later.
See ya. Bye-bye.